Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Shelley Speaks Truth right here on 2rawfortv.tv. If you are here for the first time, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. Now, what we usually do around here is we do stream from a few other platforms, but that is not for the entirety of the show. If you would like to see the entire show, you will have to come over to 2rawfortv.tv. That is the number 2, raw, the number 4, tv.tv. So if you are watching on any of the other streaming platforms, which is usually Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, and I believe that's all of them. But if you are watching on those platforms, you will have to come over to 2rawfortv.tv and join us for the entirety of the show. Now, there is quite a bit to cover tonight, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And as you all can see, our main topic for tonight will be the controversy that occurred last week with Snoop. Snoop went to the movies with his grandson. He made some controversial comments. And, it calls for a discussion to open about LGBTQ representation in children's films, movies, books, etc., etc. I do want to get into that clip of Snoop. But tonight I really would like to hear from you guys on this topic because, I feel as if, I guess I can say I'm kind of on the fence with this because from one perspective, I do understand people saying, okay, when it comes to, I guess you could say the gay lifestyle, that might be a little bit too much for children to understand. And then, I understand the opposing side of that as well, where, people are like, this is the world that we live in. And gay people are part of our society. So, children are going to be exposed to this regardless. So why is it something that we should keep hidden? I do understand both perspectives.
I get what you're saying. So let's play this video real quick and
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and roll the clip of Snoop. So you all, if you haven't seen it, you can see what he had to say about taking his grandson to the movie and that particular dynamic.
Buzz Light.
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz. The Lightyear. I think it's called Lightyear.
Yeah, with Keke Palmer's in that movie.
Okay.
She plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Keke's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby? Shh. The movie ain't over with. So it's like, it's fuck me. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit. I took my grandson. What was the movie with?
You're back in this.
Buzz Light.
All right, so you guys saw that clip of Snoop in the interview discussing taking his grandson to the movies and to watch Lightyear, I guess.
Buzz Lightyear. Well, yeah, whatever. One of the Lightyears.
I haven't seen that movie, but I guess it's a spinoff of Toy Story. But anyway, he goes into how in the movie that there is a same-sex couple, 2 mothers, and they have a baby, and obviously the grandson, who obviously is relatively young, is questioning him. It's a she and a she, so how did they have a baby? And of course, Snoop, I guess he's in a predicament where he doesn't know how to answer the question, which, to be honest with you, I'm just going to say this, and people might disagree. And I
on
don't
this
care if people
subject,
disagree.
On this subject, whatever you say, somebody's going to disagree. So just get comfortable. Whatever you say, somebody's going to disagree. So just get comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing that disclaimer out there. I'm sure people will disagree. But I'm one of those people, like I said, and honestly, I'm not really on the fence. I'm going to be honest, because this is how I feel. Gay people are part of our society. That is not going to change. Trying to have, the gay, I don't even know how to call it, but I guess I'll just say, for lack of a better term or whatever, the gay lifestyle is a part of our society. And it's not something, it's not the early 1900s. This is not something that's hidden anymore. Your children are going to see this in their everyday life. And there's children-friendly ways to explain that to children. In that situation, Snoop said he didn't know what to say. He was caught off guard, things like that. And, if I was in that situation, I would simply just say, some people have two mothers. Because that's the reality of what it is. That's the reality of the world that we live in.
Wait.
Some people
let me
have.
help you. Let me
I'm not finished with my statement.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because I know you're ready to jump in.
Oh, I'm coming for you.
I know you're ready to jump in.
I'm coming.
Regardless of how people feel about it, the reality of the world that we're living in is that some people have two mothers. You don't have to go into detail. That is a simple explanation. Some people have two mothers. Why do they have two mothers?
Nobody has two mothers. That's absolutely...
Some people have two mothers. Realistically, there are households where there are two mothers in the home.
Can you define a mother?
That is the reality.
Can you define a mother for me, please?
What do you mean?
Can you define a mother? What's the definition of a mother? Mother.
Well, some people don't even like the term female, but I've been using female my entire life. So, a female parent, that is a mother. If there's two females in a home raising a child, they're both mothers. The other one doesn't miraculously become a father, unless, that's another topic. But
and that's okay.
It's two. If there's two mothers in the home, female parents in the home, that is two mothers.
God, I'm glad
that's a simple explanation. You asked me, how do people have two mothers? A mother is a female parent. So there's two mothers in the home.
Okay. How do you define somebody that gives birth through their vaginal crevice to a child? How do you describe that? What is that? That's
also a mother.
Wait, so there's more. Wait. No.
That is also a mother.
Okay, so
you're doing technicalities.
No.
I'm doing reality. We're doing technicalities. I am doing reality. Let's give out the phone number.
I'm so glad this is your show.
I thought this was our show, but okay.
It's Shelley Speaks Truth. I just produced it.
Anyway, can we get the number up there, please?
The phone number?
Because I do want to hear, I really do want to hear from the people on this, because like I said, this is always a controversial topic. I don't really understand why it's controversial anymore. Gay people didn't just appear in our society yesterday. This has been happening for damn near a century now.
Okay, would you like to know?
And I don't understand why people are acting like this is some new phenomenon.
Would you like to know? Would you like to know?
You can give me your perspective on it.
Okay, people been gay since the beginning of the time.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's been right or wrong since the beginning of the time. I'm not going to have that argument. It's been here since the beginning of time.
Okay.
Right? What the difference is today is the people who control the influence of the people, like Disney, is throwing it in the children's faces. That's the difference. So if you want to know what's the difference, why is it something to talk about? It's because the people who control everything that is seen and heard are forcing it in our children's faces.
I have a different perspective on that. I don't really.
But that's exactly what's going on.
I have a different perspective on that because I thought about this a little bit earlier, and I'm like, in a society, everybody wants to have representation, and gay people are a part of our society, so they want representation in society. Disney is a business. Disney don't give a rat's ass if you don't want to see it. They're going to get that coin from that audience that wants to see themselves represented in the films, movies, books, etc., etc.
Right.
Because they're not going to abandon that audience because people disagree.
Right. So
they're a business. They're going to operate as a business.
Right. And when the majority kicks back and says, "No, we're not. Our children is not going to be subject to that bullshit." So, like that particular movie right there. It's absolutely really off the list.
It's really not the
majority. I'm just letting you know
because a lot of people don't care anymore.
Well, so it depends on who you're talking to, right? Because there's two people. There's 50-50 right here, right? You might not care very much, but I care very much.
In that movie, I mean, from the clip that I seen that I think everybody has in a frenzy, I really don't want my children to see that from a heterosexual couple in a children's movie. I don't think kids need to see adults kissing in movies and stuff like that, regardless of their sexual orientation. So a pop on the lips, it's nothing graphic or ridiculous, but if they can just leave that out of the children's movies altogether, I would prefer that.
The craziest thing that I see about this conversation and the conversation that's going on with this is everybody's questioning Snoop and nobody's questioning fucking Disney.
Because
Snoop doesn't have the control that Disney has.
And Disney's going to continue to operate as a business, marketing to everybody, not just heterosexual people. And that is the point. Because gay people are part of our society, and like I said,
listen, nobody has a problem.
To see themselves represented.
Nobody has a problem with you putting on gay films and putting it out there, but don't put on a movie that you feel. Well, you can do whatever you want to do, but don't feel like heterosexual society with children to raise as heterosexual children are going to be subject to this bullshit, because we're not. And just like these people, companies always find out all the time. They move things around and they try to shift and they try to, and some things don't work out and some things do. Now, if we're in a society where the LGBTQ community is more popular and more respected than the heterosexual community, I need somewhere else to go. I'm not going down like y'all. I'm not going down with y'all in Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of things going on that are far more worse in this world.
Hey, listen.
Far more worse.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I choose my battles. So does everybody else in life.
You choose to do what you want to do in your home, just like everybody else does. Right. So there'll be people that says, okay, I don't want my children seeing LGBTQ representation. They're going to see it outside anyway.
And mind you,
they're going to see it in the world because, like I said, that's the world that we live in.
And mind you, I have a gay brother and a gay sister. And my feelings are still as strong. And I love my brother and my sister the same way. They're not going to force their thoughts, their beliefs onto my children.
And that's fine. But at the end of the day, like I said, your children are going to see this in the everyday world. They're not just going to, people are acting like this is only on TV. No, it's in your life. It's in your everyday life.
Right.
So like I said, had I been in that situation, I would have just given the child a simple explanation.
Well,
some households have two mothers. That's the truth. That is the reality of the world that we're living in.
That's your reality.
No, it's
I cannot. That can't come
reality.
out.
No, because you want it to not be reality doesn't make it not reality.
Okay, because you want it to be reality.
There's households that have two mothers in them. No matter what you want to try to say.
Right.
It doesn't change the fact that it's happening just because you keep saying it's not happening.
If you're
being delusional. Being delusional.
If you're not
living
birth,
in reality.
Right. Cool.
That's not true.
Well, I'm not going to sit here
a person can adopt a child that they didn't give birth to, and they'll still be their mother.
You could be a godmother. You could be a stepmother. You could be an adopted mother. You can be all kinds of other mothers. Adopted mothers, stepmothers, all kinds of other mothers. But mother, the term mother is reserved. Y'all ain't gonna change that. It's reserved.
No, it's not.
How is it not reserved?
Absolutely not. Because
so why is there? So every other mother that doesn't give vaginal birth to a child, why is there a word in front of it? Just explain that for me.
There isn't.
Okay, name me one. Because the godmother, you have a stepmother, you have a grandmother, you have an adopted mother. So you have a mother by marriage, stepmother.
And they're all still mothers.
You're
trying to make it seem like they're not still mothers. They're still mothers.
So in the term of,
so you want them to say this is a vaginal birth mother?
No, they don't have to say it. All they have to do is say mother.
What do you want them to say?
No, but so, okay.
So that's what they're saying, mother.
Wait, I didn't make up the language, right? I just explained to you how every single place where you find a mother that is not one that gave birth to that child, there's a prefix in front of it. I didn't make this language up. I'm just showing you it.
So, okay, let's just say one of the mothers gave birth to the child. They got a sperm bank or whatever the case may be, or maybe a friend decided to, help.
Only one of them gave birth. Only one of them gave birth, if at all.
So who's the other mother? She's still going to be...
She would be a stepmother.
She's still going to be... Okay. And she'll still be a mother.
Right. So that's the explanation. Not, there's just some loose... some parents have... Some households have two mothers. No. This household is gay. And there's another mother that because the biological mother decided that she's having...
You're not about to sit there and explain all of
Please.
that. To a young child,
let one of my children ask.
In that scenario, you might have said, okay, one of them is the mother and one of them is the stepmother.
So that's the whole point,
And that's
right?
a fine explanation if you want to say that.
So hold on.
But
that's
at
the
the end of the day, there's still two mothers in that home, regardless.
So that's the whole point. Just like you said, you're not going to have to. You don't want to have to. I'm not going to explain that to a child. Disney shouldn't have it in the children movie for me to go have to explain it.
They can if they want to, because like I said,
and that's why me and my children won't be able to see it. And I'm gonna shoot it from the rooftop. So
that's fine.
So everybody that might not know, that might just end up in the movie like Snoop did. You
do not have to go see the movie, and anybody else who doesn't want to go see the movie doesn't have to.
Now the problem is
you don't get to change the reality of what people want to put in their movies or what the world that we live in is.
Agreed. Now, what the problem is that you see how Snoop just went into the movie blindly, didn't know none of that shit was coming, and was just hit over the head. We now, as parents and grandparents, have to go do more research or go do more digging. Maybe I have to go sit here and watch the whole damn movie before me and my children go watch it. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Whatever it's going to take.
Where's the number?
The number's been on the screen.
Oh, okay. So I guess people don't.
You got to read it off. The phone number is 470-666-2194.
Okay, I don't have the number.
I'm not telling you. I'm telling the people.
All right, y'all. Because, like I said, this is the world that we live in. I think that people are going to start having to have these light discussions with their children, because the children are going to have questions. They're going to go outside and they will go outside and see same-sex couples. You know, like I said, if this was 100 years ago, they wouldn't see it expressed to the extent that it is now.
I agree with you there,
but they're gonna see it.
I agree with you there, because my children.
Let's not be naive and pretend like they're not gonna go in the outside world and see people living differently than them.
I agree with you there, because if it's my children, they're not gonna go out and have to ask Grandpa, why is this gonna? They'll probably be explaining to Grandpa, hey, Grandpa, why do they have this craziness on the screen? Because this is a children movie, and I don't need to be seeing this, because women and women don't have children together. Because the parent, me as the parent, would have been living in my household. The child knows this already. So maybe that's the question that needs to be asked. Snoop, what's going on with the mother and father of the children? Why are they not educating the child? Are they not talking to the child? Like, why do you have to all of a sudden be blindsided? Right? I got a couple of questions that don't have nothing to do with Snoop. But if y'all want to try to throw Snoop under the bus, go on.
I don't think that Snoop should be thrown under the bus, because, like he said, you know, he was kind of caught off guard. And one thing that the gay community is going to have to come to terms with is that although, you know, gay people are part of our society, it's not something that is normalized among everyone. So the same way they want grace and understanding, they're going to have to extend that grace and understanding to other people who are, I don't want to say comfortable, because it doesn't make a difference if you're comfortable with somebody else's lifestyle. You don't live their lifestyle. You don't live for them. So your comfortability with their lifestyle really does not matter. But, you know, people who are trying to find understanding, or may simply just feel like it's not the way you're supposed to live. Again, if you want to have grace and understanding, I feel like it's only fair for you to extend that grace and understanding to others. I don't think people have to be nasty and outlandish to gay people. I find that to be extremely unnecessary.
That's stupid. That don't make no sense. So like I explained, I raised two boys, 3 boys. I'm still raising the 3rd. So when I sat down and let my boys definitely know, hey, listen, it's a crazy world out here. All kinds of things are going on out here. You're going to see all kinds of things, and you're going to hear all kinds of things, and things are going to come at you. You're going to make your own choices in this life, right? Certain things I have no control over. When your life is your life. After I'm done raising you, I'm done. You can only control your life to a certain point. After that, you're on your own, right? If you decide to start sucking dick as a man, don't think the way I feel about men who suck dick is going to change because you started sucking dick. I'm still going to love you. You're still my son. I still love you. But the way I feel about men who suck dick is not going to change because my son started sucking dick.
Okay, I think you drove the point home with the. I got it.
Plain and simple.
I don't think anybody's at this stage. I can't speak for gay people. I can't because I'm not a gay person. But if I had to guess, I would think that gay people are past the point of trying to convince anybody.
Nobody don't need to convince me of nothing. I got my mind.
And I don't think they would. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for gay people. I'm not gay, and I don't feel like it's my place to speak for gay people. But just based upon observation, I think they're past the point of trying to prove that they deserve to exist. I mean, I feel everybody deserves to exist.
You know what also deserves to exist? Spiders and roaches. But they just get killed just for living, just for existing.
Okay, that has absolutely nothing to do with a human being. Like,
no, I'm just saying.
I don't understand that. That's kind of...
Well, I'm just saying. Spiders deserve to live. But every time I see a spider, me and the majority of life, of the world, every time we see a spider, we kill it.
How are you going to compare a spider to a human?
I'm not comparing anything. I'm just making a statement.
Well, that analogy didn't really... I don't...
I'm just... Because we're talking about deserves and things like that.
Okay. I mean, we're talking about roaches and spiders.
Roaches also deserve... Roaches deserve to live. But as soon as any human being sees a roach, the first thing is to kill it. Myself included.
You don't go to prison for killing roaches or spiders.
I'm not saying anybody...
That's not a good analogy because those things don't correspond.
I'm not, what's it called? I'm not advocating for anybody to be killing anybody.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that I don't understand how those two things correlate with each other because that's not a... I mean, to me, that's not really a good comparison, but okay, I guess. All right. That's pretty much that on that for me. Like I said, I do not... I don't feel like Snoop should be canceled. I don't feel like he's homophobic, even though almost every other article you see on this topic is definitely highlighted, Snoop's homophobic comments. And I really just don't see anything he said that was homophobic.
First of all,
he didn't say anything about anybody in particular. He just said that he didn't want to be in the middle of trying to explain that to his grandson. So I don't see how that was homophobic.
You know, that word homophobic was the very beginning of all these made up words all these brand new words, descriptive ass words that they got in the English language. All of a sudden you're a doggone cisgender or this or that or that. This homophobia, there is no such thing. Nobody is gay. You can't turn me gay by brushing against me. There's nothing you're going to do to me. Like, I got dogophobia. If I see a stray dog, I'm running because that thing might bite me. I'm scared. I got arachnophobia. If I see a spider, I'm scared it's going to jump on me. This phobia thing with gay people is just fucking ridiculous. Nobody's scared. Live your life. You want to be gay, live your life. Nobody is scared. But there's just certain shit that we're not going to deal with. And because we're not going to deal with it, you want to put it into a phobia thing and try to spin it in your... No, nobody's fucking scared of you.
The phobia part of it, I don't really understand. I guess if they're trying to explain that, it would be people have a fear of society becoming a particular way, I would guess.
Well, society becoming homo? So if that's what the guess is, it would be a fear of people of society becoming homosexual.
A fear of society. I guess a fear of gay people being in society or being accepted into society, or that would be my guess. That's the only way it would make sense to me, because like you said, nobody's afraid. No one's afraid of a gay person, I guess you would say, but I guess the fear of their representation, the fear of their acceptance, that would make more sense to me than just saying, okay, people are afraid of gay people. That doesn't make any sense. But like I said, I would think they were more so, pertaining to what I just outlined, like a fear of them, of their existence in society and things like that. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to speak. I don't like speaking for people when I'm not a part of their group, because I can't speak for them. I don't feel like it's my place to speak for anyone who's gay, because I'm not gay, and I would not be representing them well, because I don't have enough of an understanding to even speak. But I do want to go ahead and switch gears a little bit, because there's been a lot going on with the CDC lately, and what's his name? Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
He is facing a lot of backlash, and when he was sworn in as over the health and human services for the federal government, I knew there would be a lot of controversy with that, as we saw when he was being sworn in. A lot of people did not even want him to even get that position. And there has been a lot of back and forth with him and different people within the CDC, because he made it known when it was known that he would be given that position, he was someone that always spoke out against vaccines. Although he has said several times that he's not against all vaccines, but he feels like vaccines, especially as of late, they cause more harm than good, and the amount of vaccines that children are given are unnecessary. One second. Caller, you live?
That was so funny. No one's afraid of a gay person. That is hilarious. When you look at the word literally, like homophobia, like I just hear drapetomania, things the same way. This false medical or false terms. You know what I'm saying? That just further sort of puts these people in a victim consciousness mind state, so that almost like a protected class, another Jew, another minority.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
But you don't agree. You don't agree that some people do have a fear, like, because I've heard people say things like, "Oh, there's an agenda for them to make these kids gay." So you don't think that is a fear of people? That's the phobia part because like I said, that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
No, but hold on. Just because you identify something, because literally, if you don't recruit into LGBTQ, that dies automatically.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
They don't.
So what do you say to the people that say that they've always felt
since
this?
they've known themselves, yes, since they've known themselves, and because of all the influences, all the things that has influenced them. A child is a sponge. No child comes in this world with a sexual orientation.
So you don't think it's
all learned behavior, all of it.
So you don't think that because when people say that they've always felt this way and things like that,
it's true. They're not lying.
You don't think that is like some type of and I don't want to offend anyone, but you don't think that that is something that could be environmental as well, like a chemical imbalance. You know, the foods that we eat and things like that. It's a lot of like lab grown and all sorts of.
All you're doing is adding to the so-called phobia, right?
How?
By now explaining that there could also be other things involved, right? Not only the media and. So now you're bringing the food into it.
I'm just bringing that up because I've heard people allude to that. I'm not saying that's what it is. I don't want anybody coming for me. I'm just throwing it out there because that is something that people have spoken about before. But caller, I want you to get your thoughts out.
What I have to say is that, you know, they keep on pressing the deep power that they have. They have the power to cancel people. They haven't canceled people in a long time, you know. And to me, they lost their funding. They lost a lot of significant funding. So a lot of people are still equating this LGBTQ thing, which I think we need to make a distinction between people who are so-called gay and the LGBTQ thing, because that's a whole gang in itself. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That participates in gang activity.
Exactly.
You know, so that's a whole thing in itself. And then, you know, just the whole homosexual thing it's some money thing to really take black people's power away. You know what I'm saying? And because how can you define something by a sex act? That's why these people get locked into this mindset, like they get abused as children because let's keep it 100. That's where gay shit comes from. Sexual molestation, for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
When you say sexual molestation, I do want to express that there's many multiple levels of that, right? Just because a child is not being physically touched does not mean they're not being sexually molested, right? There's all kinds of mind tricks and games. All kinds of things are involved here. Like it's.
Yeah, exactly, and they never talk about that when they ever talk about gay things. They're like, oh, well, they're just regular things. I didn't know. These people went through traumatic situations for the most part for them to be like this. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not discounting anybody's experience. But what I'm saying is that for the most part, people went through trauma through the whole gay thing, and to ignore that and still talk about that, and we ignore that, we're ignoring a lot, and that's where you get to this homophobia and all this other crazy stuff like that. And to me, the whole classification of classifying someone because of a sex that they may have had as a child, that's how they get their minds fucked up. They're like, oh, well, I liked it. It was some, and then they get their minds fucked up because this childhood trauma now got them locked in to this identity, which is a fake identity. It's a false identity. You are not this one sex act, and that's who you are for the rest of your life. That's fucking nutty. That's nutty. You know what I'm saying? So all these completely gay people could still have children, and they often do. That's why when a woman says she's gay, it's some fake shit because all of them have babies. How are you a lesbian and you got a baby? Don't stop. Make it make sense to me.
They having 3 and 4 babies.
Right. It doesn't make any damn sense. But they want you to make it seem like there's an orientation that you're locked into for life and all this other weird stuff. And it's like, no, this doesn't define who you are, but we want to define everybody and everybody. This is person, that.
what you're saying, but all I'm saying is when y'all get canceled, I'm not getting canceled with you.
Cancel who? We on 2 Road.
Oh, you're too already canceled. Too already already.
Y'all gonna get canceled on the streets.
We're canceled.
Y'all gonna get canceled on the streets. You live in Atlanta, you definitely about to get canceled.
No, but the reality is, neither one of us said anything negative about anybody gay. The LGBTQ community now.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. And I figured this out. You are speaking about the LGBTQ community as if they're a defect. Now, if I'm a gay person, I'm automatically going to take offense to that because you're saying that I'm defective. There's something wrong with me. I'm like, I'm going to take offense to that because I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me.
This is a thing that black people do that is just like, we do this often because we think about how someone else would think, but with the mind that we think about. Most of these people have gone through trauma. They're not going to deny what I'm saying. Were you molested as a child? Most of them are going to say yes. They're going to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So you can't. They're not going to think what I'm saying is correct. Just like a lot of black people are like, oh, that's racist. Then to call these white people pink. What are they going to think? They know that the white thing is fake. They know the white thing is fake. But we as black people, we try to adopt and put in their mind, oh, I would be offended if blah, blah, blah. Most of these people know that what the fuck they're doing is fake and it upholds pink power terrorism, aka white supremacy.
I'm just saying based on what I see in the backlash, even that Snoop is receiving with this situation.
Because he's receiving it from the community, right?
That's my point.
Let me just tell you. I've had that conversation with my gay sister, right? She separates herself from that.
Okay, but she's okay. She's not in the.
She's not a part of some control mechanism that's trying to grow and trying to recruit. She's just gay.
Fine, wonderful, great, dandy. She is not in the forefront. Okay. So the people, she's gay. She's not out there, I guess, championing for LGBT causes.
Right, the gang.
So,
she's not right. She's not a part of the gang. That's what we're talking about.
And that gang is powerful. They have visibility.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't going nowhere.
But I don't think they got it like that anymore, Shelley. I just don't think they got it anymore like that. They got their funding. They got their funding. They have certain bubbles. Think about who they really canceled recently.
I disagree.
Think about who they really canceled recently. They tried to cancel Chappelle. That went bad.
Chappelle is never getting canceled. People have been offended by Chappelle forever.
They tried to cancel everybody. They tried to cancel Kanye. They tried to cancel that. Their canceling is not working anymore. And there's a reason why. They're just not strong. They're not strong anymore. They lost their funding. They found out they were being funded by George Soros. You thought that just gay people had all this money because they just were gay or whatever. They're getting funded by George Soros.
So
you know what I'm saying? So a lot of their funding has been cut. So they don't get it like that anymore. The people that they've been trying to cancel recently have not been canceled. They just been looking at them stupid. They've been taking the L.
So
they took the L with they.
So are you saying that the LGBT community will not be able to cancel Snoop Dogg? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not. No, they can't cancel Snoop Dogg. They tried to cancel him with Trump. They tried to cancel him when he was going to the crypto ball with Trump. They tried to cancel him then. If they can't cancel him when he's fucking with Trump, they can't cancel him for any gay shit. They're saying something.
Now, let me ask you, Shelley. Do you think the LGBTQ community will be able to cancel Snoop?
No, I think Snoop is one of those people kind of like Chappelle. Snoop is an OG. Snoop has a lot of fans who don't even agree with LGBTQ lifestyle. So I don't think that he'll be canceled. And I also don't think that he said anything to be canceled, though. He didn't say anything crazy. He didn't say anything crazy.
He didn't say anything cancelable in my eyes. Disney, now, on the other hand, now let me ask you this, caller.
Disney owns everything.
Do you think Disney can be canceled?
Hell no.
Do I think it can be canceled?
Disney can be canceled.
Do I think Disney can be canceled?
Yes. Can.
Hell no.
Do I think Disney can be canceled?
Yes.
Their marketing scheme is just too. No, I don't think they could be canceled by any group of activists or so-called activists.
You don't think Disney can? Now, what do you think, Shelley?
No.
So
Disney is a monopoly. And cancel. But I mean, nobody wants to cancel Disney. Disney has taken a hit, but Disney owns every damn thing. They make so much money. Like, there were a lot of people saying they weren't going to go to Disney anymore and stuff like that, but Disney owns so many other companies. Like, you don't go here, okay, Disney owns these 4 other companies over here. So it's like, unless you about to cancel a whole lot of shit, Disney will never be canceled. That's just what it is.
And also, they're just so involved with so much diabolical stuff, and everybody knows it, but everybody's daughter has a Minnie Mouse doll. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's crazy. But they're involved with all this diabolical shit. You know what I'm saying? And because their marketing scheme has been so crazy, everybody still sideways fucks with them. Just like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was in everybody's living room for 20 years. You don't think so? You don't think Americans are gonna fuck with them?
I don't know.
Well, only half of Americans. I mean, just to be real with you, only half of America. You know,
But he was on top rated shows for like.
I do think Disney is more cancelable than Snoop is, simply because they're a business. Simply because they're a business, right? And when businesses make wrong decisions, if they don't quickly course correct,
Disney didn't even lose against a governor. Like,
but I think
people no, I don't see that happening. But any, what were you saying?
And we're talking about cancelability factor. Snoop definitely could be canceled way quicker than Disney because Disney's a whole corporation. Disney's a whole corporation, and also like you have Disney employees every single day getting caught child molestation, kidnapping children, all sorts of shit. They do it with the Disney shirt on, with the Mickey Mouse ear hats on. You know what I'm saying? They're kidnapping children with the Mickey Mouse hat on, and Disney has not been canceled yet. You know, they do all sorts of diabolical shit. You know, they participate in all sorts of so-called satanic shit.
Because, like you said, Disney is a corporation. So if people do things within the Disney organization, the reps are just going to come out and distance themselves from those individuals. Those individuals will be canceled, but not the corporation itself. They're going to disassociate themselves from those people. They're going to disassociate from those individuals. The company is not going to go down. They'll get rid of those people, but I feel like the company will still stand.
Yeah, but if Snoop Dogg does something crazy, trust me, Dr. Dre is going to be like, I don't even know who Snoop Dogg is. I don't even know who Snoop Dogg is. I'm telling you, if he does something crazy, child molester, anything like that, I'm not even putting anything like that on it. Right, they'll be denying him. They'll be taking his damn wax sculpture out of these places and all sorts of stuff. He'll got to get back all his medals. They'll erase the Olympic footage of him running with the cart. Like, they'll do all that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Snoop definitely be canceled faster than Disney. Because Disney, like, yeah, Disney Corporation, they're not a person.
Right, if a Disney employee did something today, they kidnap a child again, which they bought. A Disney employee is probably kidnapping a child right now, honestly.
All right, I need to get into this other story real quick.
All right.
But anyway, thank you so much for your call.
Yes, Shelley Speaks Truth.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and run that video, that news report on RFK, because like I said, there's been some stirring up going on at the CDC.
A brand new fight brewing within the Trump administration. The head of the CDC, Dr. Susan Monterez, who has been serving in the role for less than a month, fired after reportedly butting heads on a repeated basis with Health Secretary RFK Jr. That move followed by the resignation of at least 3 other high-profile CDC officials, all of whom are allegedly frustrated with Kennedy's leadership. Capitol Hill. A brand new fight brewing within the Trump administration. The head of the CDC, Dr. Susan Monterez, who has been serving in the role for less than a month, fired after reportedly butting heads on a repeated basis with Health Secretary RFK Jr. That move followed by the resignation of at least 3 other high-profile CDC officials, all of whom are allegedly frustrated with Kennedy's leadership. Capitol Hill correspondent Joe Khalil is live. Joe, this is only just the beginning because Monterez is now suing the administration.
Yeah, so this could get windy. This could get even uglier than it is now, Nicole. But what we know is that the director of the CDC, Susan Monterez, is no longer going to be serving in that role. The White House says that she is fired. Health and Human Services, as an agency, confirmed that she's fired. She'd only been in this role for about a month, but in that time, according to sources News Nation has spoken to, she clashed with the secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., over vaccine policy. According to Monterez and her attorneys, RFK Jr. had been trying to pull the approvals of several vaccines that are currently in the schedule for kids and for adults, vaccines that Monterez says, through her attorneys, are safe and are effective vaccines. And what they also add is that rather than rubber stamping unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts, she chose to protect the public over serving a political agenda. Again, according to her attorneys, that is what they're saying. Now, today, on another network, RFK Jr. responded to all of this, and he criticized the CDC pretty aggressively, saying that they spread misinformation and that the agency as a whole needs a lot of help.
I'm not going to comment. It would be inappropriate for me to comment on a personnel issue. What I will say is, President Trump has very, very ambitious hopes for CDC right now. The CDC has problems, but the agency is in trouble, and we need to fix it, and we are fixing it, and it may be that some people should not be working there anymore.
And this is what the White House says. As her attorney's statement makes abundantly clear, Susan Monterez is not aligned with the president's agenda of making America healthy again. Since Susan Monterez refused to resign, despite informing HHS leadership of her intent to do so, the White House has terminated Monterez from her position with the CDC. Now, in the wake of her firing, 3 other top officials at the CDC resigned in protest, and some of them are very high-ranking officials. We're just going to read one of the resignation statements here in part. This is from Dimitri Daskalakis. He says, quote, "I'm unable to serve in an environment that treats CDC as a tool to generate policies and materials that do not reflect scientific reality and are designed to hurt rather than improve the public's health." And he went on to say, "I've never experienced such radical non-transparency, nor have I seen such unskilled manipulation of data to achieve a political end rather than the good of the American people." So that is a pretty strong statement in support of Monterez. And again, you've got 3 now top officials, in addition to the CDC director, all leaving at the same time here. I'm not sure that we have seen a crisis like this within HHS where you've got this exodus, certainly not in quite some time.
Yeah, quite the shakeup, Joe. So how is Congress reacting to everything that's unfolding?
Yeah, so Senator Bill Cassidy, who is chairman of the HELP committee, and the H in HELP stands for health, so he sort of oversees this. He put out a message last night basically saying that this is going to require some oversight. So what does that mean specifically? We've talked to sources within the committee. That certainly could mean that they have a hearing on this. It could also mean that there's a probe or an investigation into HHS, into their vaccine policies, and into the firing here. Now, what's interesting is Senator Cassidy has been on record as sort of opposing RFK Jr.'s position on vaccines, but he hasn't been very vocal about it. So we'll see how this all plays out on Capitol Hill.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Okay. If you were dozing off, you're woke now. Like I said, when it comes to RFK, I already knew that once he got in that position, he was going to butt heads with a lot of people. Because I will say this, and in somewhat of defense, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but in somewhat of defense of the people working at the CDC, these people believe in what they're doing. They really do.
I think you just hit the nail on the head.
They believe in what they're doing, and for someone, the likes of RFK coming in, who has a completely different stance on things from them, for the most part, there's going to be some headbutt, because RFK has made it very clear that he does not believe that all these vaccines are necessary. And again, he feels like a lot of, especially these current vaccines, are doing more harm to the public than good.
So let's just break it down for, just for everyday people, just so everybody can understand, right? So just picture your job, right? I'm going to make a scenario with 2 Raw for TV, but use your job as a reference. If you don't know behind the scenes of 2 Raw for TV, use your job as a reference, right? So 2 Raw for TV has 2 owners, right? The 2 owners, we get together and we have a meeting and we talk about the things that we want to get done, right? We come up with a plan of what we want to get done, and then we call a meeting with our managers, right? Then when we have that meeting with our managers, the managers get the agenda. Managers don't get everything that we spoke about in our meeting and why we create our agenda. The big reason behind why we create our agenda. The managers get the agenda. Now, the managers take that agenda and they have the control to be able to do different little things in order to get the agenda implemented. So they create their, whatever they're creating, right, their system, and then they take that system and they bring it down to the next level, right? This is the same way where all companies work, right? That next level, the employees, for lack of a better term, they have no idea what was said up in the owners' meeting and why the agenda and who and what influenced the agenda. They just have a job. And they believe in that job. So they're doing that job. It's just that simple. Now, you take that and you take the 2 owners and you replace them. Here comes a different agenda. Now that has to get turned all the way, passed all the way down. Now, mind you, all these people believed in the agenda that we're doing. Company didn't change. Company's the same. Right? So take that to the CDC now, right? And these doctors, and like you hear this resignation, and this person's talking about he can't work at a place that doesn't back the science. You have no idea why that science book was written.
Yeah, I get that. I understand all that. But this has been a way of life for many, for several generations.
Right.
And the thing with the Trump administration, especially this second term, they came in like a wrecking ball and start just changing stuff drastically and quickly. And a lot of people don't adapt to change that quickly. And like RFK said, maybe some people shouldn't be working there because you have the right to leave. When new leadership comes in and you don't align with that agenda and you have absolutely no authority to change it, the best thing for you to do is separate yourself. Like the man said, they think RFK is a quack. That's what they think. They think he's a conspiracy theorist. They think he's a quack. They think that he has no idea what he's talking about. They said that he's doing all this for political reasons. And I'm just kind of like, the thing with these people is they don't want to ever explore any alternatives. It's like it has to be this, and if it's not this, it's wrong.
Well, that's very understandable because if I got to go to 4 years or 2 years bachelor's degree, and then 2 more years, 2 more years, and then 2 more years, and I finally get my freaking master's, and then I got to go in for 6 years to finally get some kind of respected position. I mean, now you want to tell me all of that I've done worked on, I have to just change overnight?
But they're hypocrites. You want to know why?
Yeah, sure.
Because if you know anything about science, you know that science changes constantly.
If you know anything about science.
They're saying he doesn't follow the science or back the science. Okay, science is not something that is set in stone. It changes as new findings are developed.
Well, unless science is paid for.
I get all that, but then that's why they
I paid $8 billion for this science. This science is not changing for the next 8 years.
Doesn't matter. Then that's why that is why they don't have any credibility, because everybody knows that they're puppets. If you were really true to the science, then as new information came in, you would at least explore it. You wouldn't just dismiss it, unless you are a puppet.
But if I'm getting kickback from this science,
okay, then
change my science.
You're gonna leave because he has been given this position by the president, and you have absolutely no authority to change it. Although they're calling for him to step down, they are calling for that. They said that he needs to go because he, like I said, they believe that he's a conspiracy theorist and a quack. They call him everything short of a witch doctor.
Just like how y'all saying, they gonna get canceled before him. They gonna get showed the door.
Well, they're voluntarily walking out of the door because
and the replacements is walking in.
They're gonna end up getting replaced anyway because they don't align with his agenda. Right. So they're not gonna have a job in there anymore anyway, because you don't get to come in and tell the boss how to run the company. Right. If you don't like the way the company is being ran, you have to move on. And, this is crazy. And I knew that it would come to this because once he got confirmed, I said he's not going to be with all of this stuff that has been going on. And to be honest, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it is time to get some of these puppets out of here that just go along with what they're told to do. They don't question anything. When it comes to our health, we don't need people who are just going to follow an agenda, even if it's harming us. No, we don't need that. And I do support the fact that RFK has said that a lot of this stuff is not needed. It's unnecessary. They do need to explore alternatives. And that's why he's cutting I didn't play that other video because it would have just, that video was already too long. So I just had to decide which one I was going to play. But in the other video, you know, they talked about how there's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars cut from these vaccine funds and this vaccine research. And of course, everybody has their panties in a bunch about that because they're like, how is he going to do this? What if there's another pandemic and then they're not going to have the research and blah, 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 blah. I got a simple solution for that. Y'all stop creating all these viruses. How about you stop doing that? You won't have to come up with these vaccines. Just stop creating the viruses. That's the simple solution.
I tell you what. I tell you one thing. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube got away with murder today.
Did they?
They got away with murder. Murder. I tell you what, that's not gonna happen next week. So y'all better go get your account for 2 Hour TV now.
I thought those were long gone.
Murder.
I thought those were long gone.
Murder sheep, bro.
All right. We're over our time. We are. Although I gotta do this before we get out of here. I know we got another show coming on, and pardon me for being late tonight. I'm sorry we're late, but we're still here. We're gonna be out of here in a minute, but I got to play this Umar Johnson video. I just gotta do it to y'all. I just gotta do it. Because at this point, this situation with Umar Johnson is becoming a clown show. And I just hope Umar gets the help that he needs. I'm gonna say that.
So here goes.
Lunch with the doctor. It's called Lunch with the Doctor. You make a $500 donation to FDMG Academy, ladies. $500 donation to FDMG Academy, and you get a free lunch with Dr. Umar, restaurant of your choice in the state of Wilmington, Delaware. I said we got a new program called Lunch with Dr. Umar. Private lunch. Ladies, you got to donate $500 to the FDMG Academy, and I will take you to lunch, private lunch, any restaurant you want in the state of Delaware. It's called Lunch with the Doctor, and it costs you $500. You don't pay for the lunch. I pay for the lunch. Any restaurant.
You stopped it?
You want the recipe? You want more?
You ain't get to the best part yet.
All right, hold on.
In the state of Delaware. Oh, yes. Brothers, don't hate. We got to stop hating. Brothers, we got to stop hating. Don't hate, my ninja. Because if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask your baby mom, do she want that luncheon with the doctor, we know what she gonna say, ninja. Don't test my intellectual gangster. If I roll up on your girlfriend, your live-in prisoner, you call a girlfriend. If I roll up on your live-in prisoner, your romantic prisoner, you call a girlfriend, who ain't there because she want to be, she there because she got to be. If I roll up on your romantic prisoner, my brother, if I roll up on your romantic prisoner, you call a girlfriend who living with you because she got to, not because she want to. Do she want that lunch date with the doctor? Do your wifey want that lunch date with the doctor? I think we all know the answer to that. Me and you are not the same. I keep telling you that. Me and you, we not the same. You not 6'3", dark chestnut Cocoa Brown with the North Philly beard. You ain't Leo King, ninja. You ain't Pan-Africanist #1. Nobody flying you to every continent to hear what you got to say. Only me. Don't make me take my t-shirt off and turn into King Kong right now. Don't make me beat my chest. Don't make me beat my chest. King Kong. Stop playing.
I'm so sorry.
I'm coming out for the ladies. It's called Lunch with the Doctor.
I had to live through it, so y'all had to live through it too.
Doctor.
Okay.
You make a $500 donation.
Well, that's an expensive lunch. $500 donation
to FDMG Academy, and you get
Why
a free
you bet he
lunch with
won't?
Dr. Umar, restaurant of your choice in the state of Wilmington, Delaware.
He said
I said we
ladies.
got a new program called Lunch
He said,
Sometimes
ladies.
Our private lunch, ladies, you gotta donate $500.
That nigga said Delaware. How far is Delaware from here?
And I will take
I
you
don't
to lunch,
know,
private
but it
lunch
gotta
in
be
the
in
restaurant
Delaware.
you
They
want
gotta go
in
to
the state
Delaware.
of Delaware.
I guarantee
It's
he
called
won't
Lunch
go to
with the
Atlanta with
Doctor.
that
and
bullshit.
He
it
ain't
costs you
say Atlanta. He
$500.
said Delaware.
I guarantee
You
he
don't
won't.
pay for the
One of them
lunch, I'll
thoughts
pay
out
for
there,
the
but
lunch.
all
Any
right.
restaurant
You
in the
just
state of
had
Delaware.
to do it,
Yes,
didn't you?
brothers, don't hate.
One of them folks
We
would be
gotta
like, yeah,
stop
go ahead,
hating.
take that shirt off. Go ahead,
Brothers,
King Kong. Come on.
we gotta stop hating.
Yeah, come on, King
Don't
Kong.
hate my ninja, because if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask
I
your
dare him to
wife
come
do
to
she want
Atlanta
that
with
luncheon, if I ask your baby mom do she want that luncheon with the
I'm
doctor,
just gonna say
we know
this.
what she gonna say, ninja. Don't test my intellectual
It's
gangster.
quite obvious
If I
to me
roll
that
up
this
on
man
your
is going through
girlfriend,
some type of
your
manic
living
depressive
prisoner, you call
disorder
a
or
girlfriend.
something.
If I roll up on your living
Whatever the
prisoner,
newadays
your
crack is,
romantic
that man
prisoner,
is on it.
you call a girlfriend who ain't there because she want to be, she there because she got
Anyway,
to be. If I roll up
y'all
on
gonna
your
pay that
romantic
$500
prisoner,
for
my
the date
brother,
with the
if
doctor?
I roll up on your romantic,
Well, he said it's for the school. I mean, I don't know. He might get some. He might get some people.
Whatever the newadays crack is.
He might get some people. He might actually get some donors who
Whatever.
gonna pay the $500 for the dinner and donate to the school. At this point, if you're still donating to the school, I don't know what to tell you. It might be something wrong with you too. If you're still donating, and then he's asking for $500 a walk, and then gonna have the nerve to say, "Restaurant of your choice, I'm paying for the dinner." No, they're paying for the dinner. They're paying you $500 just to go to dinner. They're paying for the dinner. Make no mistakes that you are paying for your dinner. Okay. On that note, I'm gonna get out of here because I can't take Umar Johnson anymore. It's so unfortunate what a clown he turned out to be. It really is. Because for so long, people really did believe in his objectives. But at this point, it's just becoming a clown show. And I hope that he just disappears for a while and really gets the help that he needs. Because at this point, it's very obvious that there's something wrong with this man.
Who was the crackhead of our day? Like the big crackhead of our day. Like the big, like the larger than life crackhead of our day. Who was that? Who was it?
The hell if I know.
We're gonna leave Whitney out of this. But who
Oh, we ain't gonna ever disrespect
No,
Whitney.
we're not. That's why I said we're gonna leave Whitney out of this.
Yeah, wrong with you.
But what I'm saying is, and like
I really have no idea.
I'm trying to think. Like who was like who would be comparable?
Are you
like,
serious? The larger than life crackhead? Seriously?
Yeah, we had some big crackheads in our era. Don't stop. Come on now. We had some. We had.
I ain't know no big time crackheads. The only crackheads I knew was in the neighborhood.
So all right, like okay, we could all say from the reggae community, Ninja Man, larger than life crackhead, right? You know, rest in peace, Ninja. Like, oh, DMX. Here's a larger than life crackhead.
Yes, we could say that. Yeah. I guess DMX could be an example.
I think this man put DMX
Seriously.
on this newadays crack. Yeah. Whatever this newadays crack is. Y'all lucky it ain't the old crack, because that boy be out here butt naked, boy. That boy would be in Atlanta.
His views.
Of Atlanta with old goddamn
the view. Let me say this, because just because we are on Too Raw for TV, that does not exclude us from lawsuits. So let's keep that in mind. Allegedly, supposedly, and even though it's allegedly, supposedly, the views of producer Dre are not my views. I didn't say this man was on crack. I don't know that to be facts. So those are Dre's views. Those are producer Dre's views alone. It does not even represent Too Raw for TV or me.
Picture somebody right now. It's about 500 for any kind of decent lawyer that would actually try to pick this up. It's at least $500 an hour. You out here trying to get $500 from your freaking fan base for a date, and you really think I have some kind of a freaking affair or any kind of inclination of this man might be able to afford a lawyer to send a freaking subpoena my way?
No, don't sleep on the Cash Apps and the PayPals. Now he's still collecting money. They was able to pay that fine for that school. But anyway, like I said, this is sad to witness. I don't really partake in finding any type of glee or joy in anybody's downfall or fall from glory.
I do. When you come out here and you prey upon the black community, yes, I find joy in your downfall. Don't let me see you in the gutter, because I might give you a stiff kick in the boot.
I wasn't finished. I was about to say, but when you take advantage of people, you have to face the consequences for your actions. And unfortunately, he has taken advantage of the black community, black women in particular, because make no mistake, I'm almost 100% sure the majority of his donors were black women. So, it's unfortunate what has happened, but we are witnessing his fall from grace.
Man out here feeling like King Kong.
Well, at least he's not on whatever Lil Nas X may be on, because Lil Nas X was caught walking down the street in his drawers. So that might be some new age stuff too. And we're thoughts and prayers with Lil Nas X as well, because he got 4 felony charges now for, I guess, getting into a fight with a police officer. It's some crazy stuff going on. We're going to keep everybody lifted up in prayer.
Lil Nas X might have got his hands on some of that older days crack. He ain't on the newer days crack out here, but nigga, that's that older days crack. That's that crack from yesteryear. No, but real deal though. Real deal. Y'all so lucky.
I'm so done.
No, hold on.
I'm so done right now.
Y'all are so freaking lucky that the newer days crack is not here anymore. The older days crack is not here anymore. Because if some of that older days crack was to get on the street, some of y'all grandmama is coming out in the street sucking dick for some of that. So y'all lucky the older days crack ain't out here no more. Y'all want to see crackheads? Yep. Let it be back in the 90s. Let some of them 90s crack come back out here on the streets.
I can't do this anymore.
Let goddamn, what's his name, RFK? Let them boys put some of the goddamn 90s crack back on the street.
Why the hell would RFK put crack back on the streets?
I'm just saying, them boys. You never know. Like I said before, you don't know what goes on in the founders meeting.
Those folks are not putting crack back out on the streets. He doesn't even want you to take a freaking vaccine.
I'm not saying anything about anything. What I'm saying is, let them boys put that 90s crack back on the street, but some of y'all grandmama.
No, we're not. No. We're not doing that anymore.
Some of y'all grandmama, what?
We're not doing it. Just always got to go way, way over the limit.
Hi.
Anyway, it has been fun. It has been real. And again, thoughts and prayers to Umar and Lil Nas X. You're in our prayers. Umar, I kind of don't know what to say about you, because you've been scamming for like 17 years now. So whatever gonna happen to you is gonna happen to you, because the grift is dead. You've been scamming for damn near 2 decades. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, thoughts and prayers with Lil Nas X. We hope you get the help that you need. And with that being said, thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight, called in, shared your thoughts. It's much appreciated. We will be back here next week, same time, same place, God willing. 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 2 Raw TV for Shelley Speaks Truth. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.
The 90s crap come back. I'm going to the kitchen.
But we're not ending my show talking about 90s crack.
I'm just saying.
Thank you for watching, and have a good night.